Solar farms are popping up across Wisconsin, part of a rise in renewable energy production. Our reporter Koji Taylor has a special report on the world's largest energy holdings company in a small town in central Wisconsin.
Many of Wisconsin's solar farms are built in rural communities. Often they're a great compromise, like when a farmer can make some money leasing unproductive land. But sometimes neighbors say they don't want a solar farm. They come out to protest at town halls, to sign petitions, to place signs in their front yards. The question becomes, will the energy company listen? And if it won't, will the state? In the summer in Rome, thousands arrive. Vacationers here to ride trails, enjoy the lakes, and tee off at Sand Valley. But in the winter, the town shrinks back to its population of just 3,200. On one cold January morning, I met a handful of year-long residents at Town Hall. They're here to stand against what they say could change their way of life.
This is something that we're all looking at all the time.
Just a few minutes north of here are acres of red pine. The landowner has leased to Akron Solar, a subsidiary of NextEra Energy, the largest utilities holdings company in the world. About 2,000 acres would be clear-cut and replaced by fields of solar panels.
We're all in support of solar. Just this is the wrong place for it.
The solar farm would replace a third of Rome's MFL land. That's forest reserved for sustainable logging. Opponents say that would affect tourism by cutting off recreational trails and replacing the natural scenery. They argue there's a risk to residential development and real estate values. And multiple endangered species, like the Karner blue butterfly, the whooping crane, and the slender glass lizard, live on what would be the site.
It's just going to be devastating to the ecosystem.
To store energy captured by the panels, Akron's plan includes a multi-acre battery complex. Images and news articles of what can happen when these batteries fail have spread through the community, well, like wildfire.
A lithium fire has to burn up its fuel.
One of the ones in California, it was on for 7 days.
They had to have hazmat teams there.
Yeah. We don't have that. We don't have those resources.
You know, you're putting our firemen at risk.
There's been over 100 dangerous battery system failures globally since 2011. Rome is in one of the most wildfire-prone areas in Wisconsin, and some residents say a large battery wouldn't be worth the risk. Akron Solar says the project will bring in construction jobs and tax revenue. In filings, the company downplayed concerns over fires and toxic metals and accused some residents of fear-mongering. Many say they just want to know what they're in for.
Already educated people have become even more educated on a project like this and what that means for their community.
Today, just below 6% of Wisconsin's total electricity is created through solar. But Akron's new project in Rome is part of a statewide rise in new utility-scale solar projects.
I think the main motivating factor to develop solar has been the cost of solar coming down to be the least expensive source of energy.
Lynn Markham has been studying solar in Wisconsin for the last 30 years. Markham says there are trade-offs to every energy source. Today, Wisconsin spends $16 billion a year importing fossil fuels. More solar farms would make energy production both clean and local. This one behind me, Rhinelander's Hodag Solar, can power up to 2,000 homes. The only downside is solar farms need space, and that's going to upset some neighbors. But Markham says what makes a difference is when companies try to work with the people who live where they're building.
Where I've seen this happen, having the local offices with staff to answer questions, it's helped reduce controversy. When Akron Solar came to Rome in 2023, representatives said that's what they do.
We want to be an active participant in the community that we're going to be part of potentially for the next 3 decades.
But relations have soured, and the company hasn't appeared at any recent meetings.
Akron has no idea who we are or what we have here.
Despite that, the company claims to have support in Rome, citing 85 positive online comments. Opponents point to over 200 negative comments, over 2,000 signatures on a petition to halt construction, and hours of public hearings.
And it's like, what world are they living in?
This is just a smattering of people that live here. I mean, if you open up the mic, it would go on for days.
We've repetitively let them know as a community that we don't want them here.
Support from the community. That's a lie.
How is it that they can put that in writing? Isn't that lying to the Public Service Commission?
The chairs of the Public Service Commission, the state agency that regulates utilities, will decide if Akron can build their farm in Rome. The town can only participate through public comments, but some residents don't believe their objections are reaching the chairs.
I asked the lawyer, truthfully, are they going to look at all this testimony? And he said, truthfully, I can tell you that I will show it to them. I will give it to them, but I can't tell you that I can't guarantee you that they've read everything and seen everything.
Many residents expected this. According to Markham, the PSC hasn't rejected any applications for solar farms over the last 5 years. Opposition movements in communities including Plover, Morgan, Maple Creek, and Christiana have formed against solar projects during that time. In 2024, the largest solar farm in Wisconsin was approved despite vocal opposition from the town of Grant.
The PSC has approved 30 out of 30 applications. That doesn't sound like a process that's working, because it certainly isn't working here.
Markham said policy could make the development of solar farms more predictable. Energy companies could be first required to negotiate with communities, as is already required for landfills. And standards could spell out how solar farms are built, sited, and decommissioned, or, in case of a fire, what materials can be inside large batteries.
We need some standards for large battery storage. We don't have any standards for that.
The town of Rome's official position is that NextEra and the PSC are disregarding health and safety, the environment, and the local economy. These residents have a clear message for the PSC.
You're flawed. This process is flawed. You need to reevaluate it minimally and understand that this affects communities in a real hard way.
The PSC has ruled 30-0 in favor of corporations, energy development, and the communities have scored 0. It doesn't give us a whole lot of hope, but we won't quit.
In a statement, the PSC said public comments can affect the application process. For example, concerns raised by residents of Rome about wind erosion are going to be addressed in the Commission's decision. But whether the PSC will approve the farm in Rome remains to be seen. Dan?
Thank you, Koji.